Please, can you present you and can you tell us what do you do? Who is Kenny?
Sure. So, well, what I do is a little bit different than what I have done. So I'll share both real quickly so that everybody can get to know who I am. So, what I do now and what I have done for about 17 years is I train people to launch, grow, and scale their businesses. So, I work with starters, I work with scale ups, I work with CEOs, founders, and I help them grow their businesses. And I've trained and educated over 3 million different entrepreneurs from 80 different countries in the last 17 years. And I've spent 17 years touring around the planet, speaking to stadiums of people alongside people like Sir Richard Branson and Tony Robbins and Robert and Kim Kiyosaki and Vishen Lakhiani and Tim Ferriss and
Wow.
premiers and presidents and sharing our strategies and our techniques on how to build your businesses strategically with technologies with great techniques, and that all came from my background as an entrepreneur. So I started my first company at 19 years old. I was in the media industry. In fact, it goes way back to when I was 5 years old. I was a showbiz kid. I was in,
Oh, showbiz kid. You have to explain to us what is showbiz kid at 5 years old. Oh,
so I started, I
I
started
thought
in,
with eight.
so yeah, I started in music at 5 years old, and I was performing. By 6, 7, 8 years old, I started in TV and film, and I became a record producer for Sony Music in my teenage years, and I worked with people like Mariah Carey and Celine Dion and Jessica Simpson and Ricky Martin and Britney Spears and all these people, J Lo and all that. And so I was really much in the show business for a long time. And I decided at 19 years old, I started at Sony Music, and a few years in, there was a new technology that came out, and it was something that I left Sony and started my first business. And so I will tell more about that story later on. But essentially, I moved to Silicon Valley in San Francisco, and I started my first technology business. We took it to top 5 in the world in 4 years, and
Wow.
I realized that we could actually create businesses very fast. So in my 20s, I was like on the move. I was hustling, and I started building many, many companies. I started buying businesses, acquiring businesses, merging with companies, building divisions of companies. And by the time I was 29 years old, roughly, I had 24 different companies that we had built and grown. Some of them we had sold, and I kind of retired. And people started asking me, how did I do that so fast in my 20s? And I started teaching people. And so I started teaching, and now I'm 45, and I've been teaching and consulting and advising business owners ever since. I've been leading workshops and seminars in human potential and mindset and business strategy for entrepreneurs, for like 20 plus years. So that's what I do now. So I love to help people who want to start something, who want to grow something, and who want to scale something up. Between my wife and I, who teach together, we have created now over 40 different companies. We currently own 7 different companies, and we're invested in a dozen different technology companies, AI companies. We're on the boards of many incubators. And so we're just constantly involved with companies all day long, all day long. My schedule today is I actually teach about 600 entrepreneurs in about 2 hours from now. And then I have advisory meetings with 8 different companies today, about every 45 minutes, right? And so that's my day.
Wow.
And I do every single day except for the weekends where I spend my time with my kids and my family. And my
Okay.
wife, same thing. So there's actually 2 of us. We're kind of a powerhouse couple together. We're constantly working on businesses and constantly helping business owners grow very fast.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming to the Mr. Energy Show. It's a very very good pleasure for us to have to you. Okay. Can you tell to the people, okay, to the audience, okay, why? Okay, it's very important for the entrepreneurs to go to the event, to the seminars, okay, for learn very for yourself. What do you think about it? They're going to learn very about faster things in 3 days, or they're going to lose the time. What do you think about it?
Yeah.
What?
So there's 3 things we always say that you need if you want to become very, very successful, make a
All
big
right.
impact, and create a lot of wealth. And those 3 things are, first of all, you need the best practices. What is going on right now in the world for people to get the best, fastest growth, the strategies? What are people doing? And you need to know things like, how do you build your products quickly, and how do you generate leads? How do you have great sales conversion? And how do you build your brands and so forth? And so, one of the most important things is to understand what's working right now, because the world is constantly changing and evolving. So, for example, although we have been involved with artificial intelligence in our own companies for over 20 years, in Silicon Valley, in the last 1 year, it has become a major game changer for all people across the planet. So the last year, we have become the world leaders in training entrepreneurs and business owners, launchers, growers, and scalers how to use artificial intelligence to grow very fast. So that did not exist really a year ago, just over a year ago. And so every single year, every single month, new technologies, new strategies are discovered. And when you go to these conferences and these events, you learn from the people that are the best in the world teaching what is really working right now, not what worked 10, 20 years ago or 5 years ago, but what's
Right
working
now,
right
yes,
now. Yeah. You have
yes,
to
you're
know
right.
that. So that's the first thing is the strategy. The second
All
thing
right,
is it's important to have coaches and advisors and mentors because they can challenge you with the way they
of
think.
course,
If you
of
are
course.
not producing the same results that they are producing, it's important to get around them and be challenged by their thinking and be challenged by their strategies and work around them, whether you're in a workshop setting, even if there's 1,000 people there, it's still great to hear them, consider what you're doing, consider the way they're thinking, see what they're doing, and be challenged. If you're not being challenged, you keep doing the same things that you're always doing. And if you want to have a breakthrough in what you're doing with your money and with your wealth and with your opportunities, you need to be around people that are doing much bigger things and then understand how do they think and be challenged by their ideas. So that's the second thing that you have to get. And you get those at conferences. A lot of top mentors like us, we speak around the world at events and conferences, sometimes virtually and sometimes in person. But either
Yes,
way, you have to be there because when you're there and you're listening and you're seeing what's going on, you start to change the way you believe about things. You change the way you think. What you think is not possible, watching somebody else do, changes the way you realize it's possible. Now, I have 3 kids, and my daughter, who's 8 years old, is an entertainer and performer now, and I guess in my footsteps.
all
Okay.
right, good, good, good.
And so she's really very good. She's a songwriter. She's a great performer. She's already been featured at Disneyland several times, and she's performed at major sporting events around the country. And in order to help her become as good as she can become, she wants to be a pop star and a singer and a performer, and she will. And so, in order to get her to the level that she wants to go to, we take her to conferences or we get her onto events where there are other kids similar in age who are doing things that are bigger, better, or more exciting than what she's doing. Because it's easy for her to see maybe somebody like as an adult and say, well, but that's not me. But when she goes to an event or a conference, and we just took her to one in Berlin, in Germany, because there was a top vocal coach, the number one vocal coach in the world was giving a seminar, is giving a workshop. And so
All right.
we took her there. We had to buy a ticket, we had to get on an airplane, we had to
Hey, this is the reason why you was in Berlin 2 weeks ago or
That's right.
last week. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
that's
Okay.
right.
You
Yeah,
tell
2
me.
weeks
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and this woman's name was Cheryl Porter. She's an amazing, amazing vocal coach, an amazing woman. And to go to a workshop where she could learn the best practices of how to sing, and she could then be around this great coach who could
Yes.
demonstrate things to her so she understood it was possible, and to be around other girls, which is the third thing here, which is the community. The third thing you have to have is a powerful community. And so to be around a community of people that are challenging you, not just a mentor, which is great, but a community of people that raise the bar, that challenge you, it changes your abilities and it changes what you see as possible. So I went to a school, a music school called Berklee College of Music. It was one of the top, it is one of the top music schools in the world. And it's in Boston, Massachusetts, in the States. And when I got to Berkeley, I was about 17 years old, and I had been a top performer and musician in my area for a long time. And when I got there, everybody else was better than me. Everybody.
Wow. Everybody was with, of course, yes, for elevate your standards. If you don't elevate
Yeah,
your standard, you're going to stay,
that's right.
it don't work.
And I came in probably kind of arrogant and confident, and I got around a community. I had a great education and good
Of course.
professors and teachers who were actually in the industry. They weren't just academics. That's what I liked about that school. And when you come to a workshop or a seminar, you're not just hearing from a bunch of academics or researchers that are just in a cave researching. You're hearing from people that are in the industry making a difference. And so that's what Berkeley was. It's why it was such a good school, because you had people who were working with Quincy Jones and David Foster and Michael Jackson and
Wow.
Mariah Carey. They were there teaching what they were doing. So you had a great education, you had great mentors to be around. And then I had these other kids from around the world who were so good at what they did. Great musicians, had incredible ears to listen to things, great arrangers. They could write things in a minute, and I couldn't do that, or they could play an instrument that I couldn't play. And at first, I was really upset. It really knocked my confidence and knocked my certainty, right?
Of
But
course.
but that's okay. That's part of the game of growing, is you have to realize that there's another level to elevate your life to. And then I started having a lot of fun and learning from them, and they were learning from me, and we grew together. So those are the three things you have to have, and you get those at seminars and workshops. You have to have best practices, great mentors that are doing it, what you want to do, and then a powerful community of people that challenge you and that elevate your standards.
All right. Thank you, Kenny. Kenny, why why do you change a little bit your business model to go to the AI? All right, now, okay, in I don't know, very fast. You built, okay, the biggest community and the first, okay, the best
Yeah,
training, the best training about AI on the world. We're going to start now to promote you for the French and Arabian market. Thank you very much for the opportunity you give to us. Okay,
yeah,
as
of
Webclass
course.
speaker to promote. Thank you. You do very fast. Okay, it's okay. What is
Well,
your secret? Please give to us your secret. Please, Kenny.
So, there's a song from Dire Straits called "Money
Uh-huh.
for Nothing." It's a very famous
Yes.
song. You probably know.
Oh,
It's
yes. Very lovely, lovely. I
yeah,
love it.
"Money
Oh,
for Nothing" and "Chicks for Free,"
very
right?
nice.
And the song is about how it's from a musician where he's parroting, or he's saying people think that musicians are an overnight success, right? And so the whole song is making fun of people that think musicians are an overnight success, when in fact, musicians or artists or business owners or anybody, they work for a long time, and then suddenly you hear about them, right? And it's like, who's this guy? Where did this guy come from? But no. So when it comes to technology or AI, we've been using it in our companies for a long time.
All
Uh,
right.
when I was in the record industry and we were tuning vocals, like fixing the pitches on Mariah Carey or on Celine Dion or Jessica Simpson, or Ricky Martin, we were using AI technologies back then. I
All right.
studied. I actually studied a bit at an engineering school where I studied computer science and engineering in my late teens as well, and we were using AI technology back then. It's been around since the 1950s. So it's not new, but in the last year, it got released commercially, open to anybody to start to use it. And it also has gotten able to be done on any computer. So now you can, through the cloud, you can use all these different AI technologies. And now these AI technologies are available for anybody to develop other technologies with them. So that's what changed. So what changed is not that we had artificial intelligence. What changed is that we had access to it at a different level. So as soon as we saw that access and we had all this experience and background, we started putting it into our company and started teaching it about how we had been using it for a couple decades and how we have been using it now. And so it was actually very fast because it was very easy for us. It was a very natural transition for us to start showing technologies. So we did that, and our company tripled in just about 6 months. And so we've
Wow.
been teaching other business owners how to use this technology to grow their businesses as fast as we grow ours.
Wow. But you go very fast. Every week we have webinars with a lot of people. Now we're going to open the French and Arabian market.
Yeah, we've
You
had
go. Okay. You're okay.
we've had 60,000 people come through the webinars since January.
Okay. Kenny, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this interview. Okay.
Sure.